Hello fellow bike people. This video is a request from Doug, who works with us at CyclePath as well as with the Brampton Cycling Club. I went out for a nice socially distanced solo ride and got my bike nice and dirty, so now I can show you how to clean a bike at home with no special tools or workspaces. The first step is obviously to remove anything that you don't want to get super wet, like lights, computers, cloth bags, etc. Once the bike is as bare as possible, the next step is to get the big chunks of dirt and sludge off of the bike. To answer a frequently asked question, no, you should not power wash your bike. Yes, the pros do it, but they go through multiple bikes a year and they have sponsors to pay for replacements. Power washing makes bikes look good, but it forces water into places that shouldn't have water, and that water can displace necessary grease and cause horrible corrosion inside of the bike. Bikes like hoses at low pressure, like the pressure of your shower head at its softest setting. This is just to get the first layer of dirt off the bike, so you can use a brush if you don't have access to a hose. So now we're doing the rest of this in my mini home bike shop. You can buy bike-specific cleaners and greases, but you can also use regular home cleaners like Lysol, window cleaner, floor cleaner, or even dish soap and hot water. You just have to keep in mind that they may leave some residue that you'll have to wipe off later. You'll also need some kind of grease, a bike-specific chain lubricant, a brush like a toothbrush or an old dish brush, and some paper towels or rags cut from old cotton clothes. Finding a way to hang the bike by the seat makes cleaning much easier than having the bike on the ground, so I recommend finding a way to do this even if you don't have a work stand. Putting a broom handle between two chairs and hooking the saddle over it works, for example. Hanging the bike makes it very easy to remove the wheels for access to tight spaces in the frame without tangling up the chain or scuffing your levers and saddle. I've got some old towels laid out under the bike to catch dirt, and for the most part you can spray or brush cleaner directly onto the bike. Disc brakes are sensitive to contamination, so I like to spray the cleaner onto the rag when I'm working with bikes with disc brakes. Another tip for hydraulic disc brakes: put a spacer between the pads, or be very careful not to squeeze the lever while the wheel is out of the bike. I've mentioned this in a bunch of previous videos, but squeezing the lever of a hydraulic brake with nothing between the pads can cause some pretty serious issues by squeezing your pads together and having them not pop back. I find the wiping process is made easier and more thorough by using the rear quick release skewer or through axle to keep the chain off of the stays, and by pulling the rag into tight spaces and using a flossing technique. With the wheels reinstalled, take care when cleaning the disc brakes to avoid accidentally contaminating the rotor or pads with oil. Use a clean, dry rag for this. Wiping the rotor with a clean rag to remove moisture is okay as long as you're careful not to get oils from your skin or the bike on the disc. If the disc has black sludge on it, wiping it with rubbing alcohol might help, but the bike will probably need a proper service. I'll get deeper into brake cleaning and service in a later video. For the rims, frame, bars, and other painted parts, you don't have to worry a ton about the paint. The paint on good bikes is designed to be hard wearing, and both bike-specific and household cleaners should be okay for it. That said, it's important to change the rags often to avoid rubbing dirt into your paint and effectively sanding it down. You might have to do multiple passes around the bike as dirt dries, because it'll become more visible. The drivetrain, or chain and gears, are where you'll find the brush most useful. It can be tricky to get all of the grime out of these small moving parts, and a brush can mean the difference between a cursory and a thorough job. Aerosol degreasers are a good option, but they need to be used in well-ventilated areas, and once again, regular household products will do the trick. Once the drivetrain is as clean as possible, it's important to re-lubricate it well before riding, as well as greasing parts where it's needed when you're reinstalling them. In this case, grease the quick release skewers to prevent the rusting that's common in that area, but greasing the seat tube and the post is also a good idea while you're at it. For the chain, I'm applying a light coat of Finish Line Dry or summer lube before wiping off the excess. If you have a bike polish like Pedro's Bike Lust or even an automotive product like Mother's or Armor All, this is the perfect time to apply it for maximum paint shine and protection. Just take extreme care to keep these products away from disc brakes because they will cause some serious havoc. Spray the rag as before. If you don't have any of these products, it's time to give your bike a final wipe down to make sure you didn't miss anything, clean off your accessories, and reinstall them. Keeping your bike clean is more than just an aesthetic thing, it's functional as well. Bikes generally have all of their components exposed to the elements, and improper cleaning can dramatically reduce the lifespan and efficiency of a bike. On the other hand, a well-maintained bike can last virtually forever while replacing parts as they wear out, and cleaning is the first part of that good maintenance. Cleaning keeps your bike running smooth, keeps it looking presentable, and makes sure that you get your money's worth out of it.